Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first pre-market prep session of September. Long weekend for me, voice still in recovery, but a great weekend all around, right? Spent full of love with great friends, soaking in the last of the beach, sending off the summer the right way, and I'm excited to be back. Definitely under solemn circumstances. Lost a family friend, a close family friend. That's definitely hit hard here. Over the weekend and today. Um, Amazing guy. As you guys know, my parents worked my butt off to send me to some amazing schools. They worked their butt off to send me to some amazing schools. But there weren't often, a lot of people there that looked like me. And of course, some days were harder than others going in there to that environment where it's just like it feels like you always have to be on. And he started out as the head of security there, waving in all the cars and saying hello to everybody, and to see a face that looked like me every morning, there welcoming me, making me feel like, obviously I was enough, and making me feel like I deserved to be there was huge. And that impact, is not lost on me. And he played a huge part in Jonathan being recruited and going to Penn State and ending up at a D1 school, and him taking time to go on visits with them and everything. So just an all around great guy, and a really tough loss. So looking to be there for the family, and continue his legacy in some way and do what he did for me for those kids. I don't know what it'll look like yet, but I want to do something to make a difference in that regard because he made a big difference for me. So yeah, it'll be tough diving fully back into work stuff today, because that's a tough situation. But we're here, we're live streaming, we're trying to get 1% better daily. Love Coach Ray, and I know that he was proud of me. He made that very clear. Proud of Jonathan, proud of Zoe. And yeah, just looking to keep fighting the good fight. Right, and we'll figure out how to honor him. But tough weekend. Great hanging out with everybody, but it's just he had a stroke the day after my birthday, and we, been at the hospital, and I hadn't really said anything, so I wanted to like keep the spirits high and stuff. But we live and we pass on. We just got to make sure each and every day we're here, we make an impact in a way that touches us. So that's what I'm looking to do. So let's keep it up. Let's have a great week, right? Get after it, and yeah, keep it pushing, keep it pushing. If you're new here, right, what we do, pretty simple. We're looking to get 1% better daily, right? It's a riff off that Japanese philosophy of Kaizen. It's what you got on the shirt, right? Eat, sleep, Kaizen, repeat. We're looking to get a little bit better every day, 1% better daily. And that compounds in an amazing way, right? A lot of what we look for is actually just a byproduct. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of the root cause, the root impetus behind these different things that we want to change in our life. And if we address those things, then everything else kind of falls into place. So on our Mondays specifically, we go over the week ahead as well as our Monday specific news. So I wanted to go over the week ahead, talk about what important things we might have on the docket. Of course, Labor Day, right? Yesterday, so we had a holiday, and it's a holiday shortened week. Typically, on holiday shortened weeks, you get less volume than you normally do, which is important to take note of because typically that means that, all right, I'm going to trade with a little bit less size, right? Maybe expect some fake outs, just because you see this here and you see that there. Doesn't mean that you go and you throw heavy buying power into it. You might see a bull flag here, this, there. You can get fake outs during a week like this, right? Where you get false breakouts where the breakout happens and you get on the time frame that you need and then it doesn't hold. Why? There's not enough volume, right? And then when little, people do come in with volume, it can cause volatility. So all in all, in the holiday shortened week, that is the biggest nugget. They can save you millions over the course of a lifetime with you understanding that because expectations in this game are everything. And that's what we're aiming for, right? Stack them, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. If you can get to 5 million liquid, then you can exhale, right? That's the goal. That's like especially the main goal for me. 5 million liquid is cool. That's when I can like sit back and look around and be like, hey, nice work. Um, but other than that, there's just so much stuff going on nowadays. So many like kind of existential threats to um the way that our normal economy is functioned. That like that's just that's what quantitatively is set up as a solid goal to be like, okay, cool. I can be happy with this and kind of look around and maybe take some time off. So this week, Wall Street will see a holiday shortened week with Monday being Labor Day. Investors will still have plenty to look forward to, especially in terms of economic data. The labor market will be firmly in the spotlight with the latest job openings and labor turnover survey, which is called JOLTS, scheduled for Wednesday, followed by ADP's monthly report on private employment on Thursday. Things come to a head on Friday, which will see the release of all of the August non-farm payrolls report. Note that the July payrolls update had sparked growth concerns and had led to Black Monday 2024. The jobs data is also expected to solidify the size of the anticipated rate cut by the Federal Reserve in September. Taking a look at next week's earnings calendar, some notable names that will announce their numbers include security firm Zscaler, whose ticker is ZS, retailers Dick's Sporting Goods, whose ticker is DKS, and Dollar Tree, ticker DLTR, and then chip maker Broadcom, whose ticker is AVGO. So a few names reporting. On Tuesday is when we have Zscaler. And then Wednesday we have Hewlett Packard Enterprise, HPE, Dollar Tree, DLTR, Dick's Sporting Goods, C3.ai, right? And then ChargePoint Holdings. Thursday we've got Avgo, biggest name of the week. DocuSign, also significant. Nio, Rent the Runway, and then Planet Labs. So not huge companies, but I'd say Avgo pretty large, pretty significant, especially given the landscape of AI and whatnot. Let's see here. Okay, so in case you missed it, I guess Apple was named a top AI pick at Citi as iPhone refresh awaits. Retail reality, Walmart may be destroying the dollar store model. Mm-hmm. Supermicro computer investor exits stock after 10K delay. Quote, no questions asked. Man, craziness going on with FMCI here in the wake of that report released by Hindenburg. Now let's check out our economic calendar for the week and see what we have. Tuesday, 9:45 a.m., we get manufacturing PMI, and then 10 a.m., we get construction spending. So those are both two things that can affect an ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. So those are two things that can affect, short-term volatility that we get shortly after market open. So 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m., we have data dropping at both of those times, right? So be aware of that, understand that, and don't let it kind of catch you off guard. Wednesday, September 4th, nothing really important. Thursday, initial jobless claims data. We have flash or final U.S. services PMI and then ISM services. So Thursday, jobless claims before market open, and then 9:45 and 10. Again, we've got just some little things that have a non-zero effect. It's like they don't have the same effect as CPI data, but they don't have no effect. And oftentimes people get caught off guard and they're like, "What was that? What happened? Is there some piece of news that I missed?" More than likely, if that happened around 9:45 or 10 a.m., it was a piece of data that was released. And sometimes big money can wait for those pieces of data to be released in order to make the move that they were already going to make. So that's why, oftentimes it helps to kind of like wait until that data drops and see how we respond from there. Friday, September 6th, unemployment rate at 8:30 a.m. And those are really the biggest things. We've got New York Fed President Williams speaking at 8:45 and Christopher Waller at 11, but neither one of them really moved the needle too much. Now, let us dive into our Monday specific news since we've already gone over our news for the week ahead, which again, very important. Lay that groundwork. You don't want to be that person that's out here over trading, right? It's like when you show up and people are playing like casual basketball and you're out here like going way too hard. You end up injuring yourself because you're going hard and the other person isn't. You're trying to back them down. They're like, look, I'll let you go. And then you fall over. Now you're on crutches. You want to be that person who is on pace with what markets are doing, right? You're on the same rhythm as them. And that's why this Monday session is always so important. That's why we call it our deluxe session. So our top news for our Monday specific news is BRICS Plus. So Turkey has put in an application to join the BRICS group of emerging market nations, according to Bloomberg, ahead of the bloc's next summit due to take place in Russia on October 22nd through 24th. It follows the recent expansion that added four new members to the BRICS, which is Iran, the UAE, Ethiopia, and Egypt at the beginning of 2024, along with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The steps are part of finding new trade and financial relationships to rival the G7, transatlantic, industrialized world, and the global north, or whatever the latest monikers are for including the broader West. Yeah. I mean, the West, we have all of our kind of economic partnerships, and that's what BRICS is, right? BRICS is the East answer to that, and they're growing. So, background information: with America and its allies launching an economic war on Russia following the invasion of Ukraine, the appeal of challenging what many of the BRICS call U.S. hegemony has intensified. Alternatives have surfaced to circumvent the SWIFT payment system and towards a path of de-dollarization, as well as boosting the new development bank to counter Western dominated institutions like the World Bank and the IMF. In May, the G7 went further by announcing its intention to use profits from frozen Russian assets to assist Ukraine, while Moscow has already effectively seized many Western corporations and said it could take further action. So again, with this ongoing factor, we're just seeing things continue to escalate. Like this Ukraine-Russia war has been on a very consistent escalation track, and it has not deviated. And we're getting pulled deeper and deeper into it. Quote, Turkey can become a strong, prosperous, prestigious, and effective country if it improves its relations with the East and West simultaneously, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced over the weekend. That's a hilarious way and very candid way of saying I'm going to play both sides and I'm going to try to have my cake and eat it too, which is risky, right? Bold strategy, Cotton. You could definitely see that backfire. Um, yeah, so we'll see how it works out for him. Quote, we do not have to choose between the European Union and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, as some people claim. On the contrary, we have to develop our relations with both these and other organizations on a win-win basis. So my dude is literally has no qualms about just saying it. He's like, yeah, we want to do business with all of you guys. We're not taking sides. It is what it is. What to watch? Turkey has been upset over its paused bid to join the EU, which has been stalled since 2016 due to needed economic and political reforms. It's true. There's sketchy stuff going on in Turkey. Erdogan, you guys have probably heard that name before. It's very rarely in a positive context. Um, Ankara can still take advantage. Ankara is like, I believe, the capital of Turkey. So when they say Ankara, they're just referencing Turkey. Ankara can still take advantage of its customs union with the EU, but the country is now looking to diversify international partnerships by forging alliances beyond its Western partners. Should Turkey join the BRICS, it would be the first NATO ally to join the bloc. It's part of a dual strategy that Turkey hopes will give it outsized influence, unless its quest for extra leverage backfires and it is forced to take a side. Yeah, I mean, that's what I most likely see as happening here. Um, Automotive news: historic closures as competition among automakers intensifies. Volkswagen is weighing shuttering plants in Germany for the first time and ending its job security program that has been in place since 1994. Quote, the situation is extremely tense and cannot be overcome by simple cost cutting measures, warned brand CEO Thomas Schaefer, while group head Oliver Bloom outlined the company needs comprehensive restructuring. Management is slated to speak to staff at a works council meeting on Wednesday, where employees are expected to strongly oppose the proposed steps. Yeah, I mean, competition among automakers heating up, and you just got a lot of you have so many different factors that are coming in that are chipping away at job security, just like chipping away from all these different angles. It's like it's not even AI, it's not even all of the people that AI is replacing at big companies that then become increased competition for you that have extremely, well-versed resumes. It's stuff like this too. Like there are all these different factors that are just making job security even tougher thing to lay down. And that's why you have so little people to just do one thing. The time of you doing one thing is over. Look at Bezos, look at Musk, look at all these different people, right? No one is doing just one thing. Now, that doesn't mean be a dilettante, do a bunch of things, that you don't do well and you don't make any leeway with any of them. But like that whole like go get one job, till at that job for 40 years, be fine, never have to worry about it being gone, and you just coast, that time has gone, right? It is dead and gone. You've got to make sure one is too close to none when it comes to revenue rivers, right? We're not talking about streams, we want rivers. One is way too close to none. So again, got to make sure that you're leveraging AI, got to make sure that you are taking advantage of, all these available technologies and automations that are easier than ever now to integrate. You got to make sure you're putting your money to work for your markets. And if you do all those different things and you have all those different streams, then it's fine if one has some type of displacement. Because right now, displacement is the name of the game. Expecting the unexpected is the name of the game. If there's one thing that I expect, it's that this is not going to be the same world next week that we lived in last week, right? That is so at this point, if you expect that, that is an incorrect expectation that you have to change because this is going to be a completely different world a month from now, a year from now, right? In just what is it now, September? In just 3 months from now, we'll have a new president, right? And like be inaugurated and all the other stuff, but we'll have a new president elect in 3 months. We'll have a new leader of the free world, right? All of these different things. So you cannot, from like a high level standpoint, you cannot assume that wherever you are is going to remain the same because we're things are changing like that, right? Merger and acquisition news, foreign ownership. U.S. Steel, ticker X, should remain domestically owned. Vice President Kamala Harris declared during a stop in Pittsburgh on Monday, echoing the opinion of President Biden. It's a notable stance as her running mate, Tim Walz, told a Nippon official in June that he supported the deal, but this was before he joined the Democratic presidential ticket. Quote, I will always have the back of America's steelworkers, Harris exclaimed, in what could be a hurdle for Nippon Steel's planned $14 billion deal. Donald Trump also plans on blocking the transaction if elected. So regulation and that I feel like is not surprising because again, we know under this administration and in this regulatory environment, not a lot of deals are getting done, right? There a lot of them are getting announced, but barely any of them are getting done. In terms of regulation news here, Starlink next. Brazil's telecom regulator has reportedly threatened to sanction Elon Musk's Starlink, which could include canceling its license to operate in the country. That's because Starlink, the satellite broadband unit of SpaceX, refused to comply with a court order to block access to X in Brazil after a months long feud over the social media platform. Brazil President Lula da Silva said the order signaled that, quote, the world is not obliged to put up with Musk's far right ideology. While hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman outlined the ruling would make the country uninvestable. Yeah, I mean, Brazil's already been a tough place to operate in. Apparently, all of the hullabaloo is just over what was allowed to be circulated on X. The government trying to keep some things quiet. Obviously, X is a social media platform. They're not trying to filter anything that comes out there. And now Brazil shutting down Starlink, which really sucks because I'm sure there are places in Brazil that had never had internet, and then they had internet and had access to it via Starlink, and now that's cooked. So matters where you live. Definitely matters where you live. And there's a lot of crap going on in America right now, but I am still thankful to be here as opposed to Brazil. Imagine that your only internet was just actually cut off. Like, it's not like, oh, there's an outage. Nope, the government just said no for the foreseeable future. Crazy. Today's markets looking mostly red here. In Asia, Japan were flat. Hong Kong down 0.2%, China down 0.3%, India flat. London, the footy down 0.5%, Paris down 0.2%, Frankfurt down 0.3%, the Dow down 0.5%, S&P down 0.5%, Nasdaq down 0.7%, crude down 1.6%, gold up 0.1%, Bitcoin up 1.1%. What else is happening? Elliott crosses threshold call for Southwest, whose ticker is love. Special meeting. Seeking Alpha asks which defense stocks are most attractive right now. Walt Disney, ticker DIS, pulls network access for XTV subscribers. Huawei to unveil new phone hours after Apple iPhone event. Report Intel, ticker INTC chief, to propose plan to trim assets and cut costs. China warns of retaliation if Japan imposes new chip restrictions. electric vehicle adoption and disappointment are still on track. Boeing's new CEO met with FAA head, discussed safety. Man, I think it'll take a lot more than whatever discussion they had. Airbus problems, Cathay Pacific cancels flights over engine issues. So that there goes the other major playmaker, right? We've got Boeing, we've got Airbus, both of them having issues. Germany AFD success piles new pressure on Schultz government. So we'll wrap it up. Put a bow on our first pre-market prep session of September. Was a great session. We outlined what to expect out of the week. Make sure that you have those expectations ready. You have those expectations in check, and you're watching the plethora of opportunities that was outlined. Make sure you go back, rewatch those videos, especially from Thursday, right? Q&A for my people, that are out there moving and shaking in markets with me, trading in the group. Make sure you check those out so that you're aware because there are a ton of different opportunities outlined there. Make sure that you understand, kind of what information you should be carrying into this week. Because we got a lot of stuff going on and our memory sometimes can be really short. So make sure that you know where all of your positions are, where they stand, what you need them to do, right? Have your chart set up, have your management rules ready to go. And let's see what we can leverage out of this week, right? Each and every day is an opportunity to close the gap between where we are and where we want to be. So let's take it. Let's continue to do better. Let's continue to honor those that, have come and gone and elevated us in the process and do that for those that are next up. Much love to each and every person here. Thank you guys for the condolences. I appreciate that. Those who've already reached out via DM or I've seen in person, all that. I appreciate that love. You don't have to recondolence, but I appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, and looking to make them proud. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one. Peace.